you considering diving into the world of Airbnb hosting? Whether you're a seasoned entrepreneur or you're a newcomer to the hospitality industry, embarking on your journey as an Airbnb host can be both thrilling and daunting at the same time. However, in this comprehensive guide, I will unveil the essential insider knowledge to equip you for success. From maximizing your listing visibility to navigating the nuances of guest interactions, I've distilled the top crucial lessons that I wish I had known before going into the Airbnb hosting business. Join me to uncover the secrets to optimizing your Airbnb experience and setting the stage for a lucrative venture. So stay tuned. Now, Airbnb hosting has several advantages and disadvantages. Some of the advantages are that you get the opportunity to meet different persons while earning an income from an extra property, an extra room that you might have that is not generating an income to therefore be an asset and not be a liability. On the flip side, there is the disadvantage that you have to deal with the nuances and the different expectations of guests that you might not be ready to meet, especially in your first phase of your development. But we are here today to delve into the top 10 things that I wish I knew before going into the Airbnb industry. Now, it's good that you can learn from me because you can learn from other person's experience and mistakes so that you may not make those mistakes yourself. So the first thing that I wish that I knew is to have a solid supervision plan. This can make or break you in the industry, especially as I am someone that manages my Airbnb business from a distance. Because the beauty of the Airbnb business is that you can actually operate it from anywhere in the world and the property does not have to be in close proximity to you. Now, for you to manage from a distance, you will need to have reliable maintenance and cleaning services at your fingertips. Just as when you reside in your property, there are issues that will arise that needs to be dealt with immediately because a guest does not want to be inconvenienced for any significant period. There are certain properties that will offer you the advantage when it comes on to maintenance. So if it is that you are running an Airbnb business in an apartment complex, you can always utilize the maintenance services offered by the property management team. However, if you are operating a standalone Airbnb business, then you will need to have nearby and reliable maintenance services that you can readily call on, as well as your cleaning services must be organized and be in depth and detailed while cleaning the property so you will not have complaints. The second thing that I wish that I knew before is financial planning and budgeting. Now, there are certain financial aspects that you need to look at while going into your Airbnb business in terms of the startup cost and the ongoing expenses of operating the Airbnb business. Now, I personally wish that I had done more revenue projection. I underestimated the cost that it would require for starting the Airbnb, as well as depleting my original funds or financing, and then not factoring that there are going to be eventualities that might arise. Guests will break things. Appliances also will go down or malfunction and need to be replaced, as well as furniture after a period of time will go through the wear and tear. What I, however, advise is that you invest in good quality items so that they can withstand the different guests that are passing through your property, so you do not have to be repeatedly spending on equipment, appliances, or furniture. The next area is guest screening and communication. Now, there are certain templates that I started to use afterwards that made the communication process much easier for me. One of the critical things though is that I realized too late that there were certain signs that you could assess a potential guest to know if they would be a problem or not. Things to be looked out for are bad reviews of the guest prior, or if they had no reviews, or it is that they had a very new profile. These are red flags. Also, to look at the name that came up under their booking. if you saw only initials or names that seemed like nicknames, it can indicate that the person has found a way to bypass the identity verification process that Airbnb has, and therefore you are taking on a risk of being able to resolve or to claim if there are damages afterwards. I have had situations where, in eagerness to accept a booking or to get money while starting up, that I took certain guests that I might not have taken once I gathered more experience in the business. So this is something that you need to critically review the profile of a guest to determine if you should make them stay at your property or not. Believe me, it is better to give up the opportunity of a guest staying at your property and lose revenue than to have a guest come in to trash your place and then you are not able to claim, or even more significantly, you might have a same day check-in that person checks out and you are not able to get the property ready in time for that check-in, and then you have a guest with a bad experience. My next area that I wish that I knew before is pricing strategies and revenue optimization. Now, you have heard me mention before that it is a bad idea to have one set price straight throughout the year for your properties. You have to do dynamic pricing. You have to factor the peak seasons and the off-peak seasons so you can adjust your pricing, as well as there are certain dates in between booking. So say for example you have a guest checking out on a Tuesday and then another one checking in on the Thursday. It is highly unlikely that you will get a booking for those nights in between those two bookings. You would have to do some price adjustment for that period in between so that it will appear up in the search engine results of persons looking for those dates. On a regular basis, if it is that you left those nights at the regular rate, they would probably never arise into the search algorithms or search engine for persons seeking a property. So therefore, you have to adjust your price so that those dates will appear in searches of guests. The other thing that I did not do is to maximize on promotions and discounts. And this comes in very handy for the slow periods that there would not often be bookings. Because remember, during the off season, that there is more supply than demand. Therefore, you have to use the regular pricing structure as you would do in any other industry so that you will be in fair competition with other Airbnbs in your vicinity. Now, the next area is creating an exceptional guest experience. Now, this had some limitations for me because I mainly do rental arbitrage. And in terms of enhancing the guest experience, you can have limitations in terms of the adjustments that you can realistically do to someone else's property as you would do with your property. However, there are ways that you can circumvent this by simply doing other things that are not of a permanent nature within that property so you can still enhance the experience. Examples would be to offer a guidebook so guests can know where nearby they can go to, or it is that you can offer certain little amenities, thoughtful amenities that you can offer that would enhance the experience of the guest. Others could be personalized touches to responsive communication and memorable interactions that you can use with a guest. And this is something that I have developed with my guests. So I have developed over time to be more interactive with my guests. And out of those interactions have bloomed long-lasting relationships with these guests because we have kept in contact since their stay with us because of the experience that they had while with us. So enhancing those guest experiences can lead to repeat guests and referrals, which is very critical in the Airbnb industry. The other area is handling guest feedback and reviews. I must admit that in the beginning of operating the Airbnb business, I took reviews and feedbacks too personally. We have to realize that we are running a business and there will be times when guests are not happy because, let's face it, there are different expectations from different guests, and also there are guests who will not take the time to read through the listing to see what the amenities are and what the space is looking like. So they will come in with one expectation, and that expectation is not met, and they will be unhappy. Now, what it is that we have to learn over time to be positive in every situation. Take their response for what it is. It is an unmet expectation that we can fix either during their stay, or we make changes after they have left so that more guests are not met with a bad experience. The last part would be specifically managing property maintenance. And I touched on this previously in terms of developing a supervision plan for the properties, but this is one of the sore areas that I had to learn over time. With every property, there needs to be a schedule for maintenance. Therefore, the faster that you can develop a schedule for someone routinely going through to inspect the premises after a certain amount of guest bookings is advisable, so that you can have a preempt in terms of issues that might be arising. Remember that a guest or housekeeping might not fully inform you of everything that is not going well with the property. Plus, remember as well that you will have a different eye for your property because you know the experience and you know the standard that you want to maintain within your property. Therefore, having a reliable person to do a routine scheduled visit throughout the property will keep you updated as to what is happening. Also, if you are nearby, or if it is that you reside in the vicinity or nearby to your property, then having a schedule that you will go through and make a detailed check of all the appliances, the infrastructure, your furniture, just to make sure that everything is at the standard that you expect it to be. Then you'll have things being fixed on a faster or more regular basis before they become a problem. If you have to block out certain dates that you have the time to go through the property without a guest being there, so that you can make sure that everything is okay. Remember, it is better to lose a little revenue than have a bad review or have a small issue turn into a larger repair problem. Now, as usual, everyone, if you have found at least one thing of this video to be beneficial, please like, comment, and subscribe. Also, turn on the notification bell so that you can be advised of new content released on this channel. Until next time, take care.